Right, so the CIA dropped documents saying that we're living inside a hologram. Not maybe, not theoretically. No, your entire life is basically a rendered environment, and your brain is the controller. Let's talk about it. So the doc is called the Gateway Experience. And inside of it, the CIA literally says reality is a projection. You ain't hear what I said, right? Not physical, not solid, a self-generated simulation your conscious is plugged into. Like a cosmic VR headset you didn't consent to wearing. According to them, matter isn't even matter. It's just vibrations organized by your brain to make this real. Crazy. They say you could break the simulation by syncing both sides of your brain, something called hemisync. And this is for entertainment purposes only, informational purposes only, educational purposes only. 2 different tones in each ear between 3 and 7 hertz. And suddenly your brain clicks into a higher operating system. And once you're in that state, the CIA claim you could do some crazy shit. Leave your body, remote view locations, manipulate your reality field, access information outside of time. Basically some superhuman shit. This is what they're saying. The CIA also goes as far as saying the universe is a giant holographic projection coming from a source that we can't see. Your body is the avatar. Your conscience is the player. And the game responds to your level of awareness. You heard what I just said? They tried to bury this. For years, these documents were classified. Let Google be your best friend. Jump down that rabbit hole.
So the CIA says we might be living in a hologram. Listen, if that's true, then everything we experience, time, reality, even our choices, part of some massive simulation we can't see. And honestly, the craziest part is that they're not denying the possibility. They're literally admitting that reality is not real or not what we think. That's scary stuff right there.
Aero just declassified 3 pieces of UFO footage, showed us, and I'm going to reveal them to you here now, mate. Check them out. Let's go through it. The United States European Command submitted a report of an unidentified anomalous phenomena to the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, AARO, consisting of 10 minutes and 30 seconds of video footage from an infrared sensor aboard a US military platform in 2024. AARO assesses with high confidence that the footage depicts a presence of a physical object. The object's morphological features, perform characteristics and behaviours are unremarkable and do not warrant further analysis. AARO will continue to investigate this case should further information become available to enable a more conclusive attribution. This unresolved report contributes to AARO's historical and locational trend analysis. Consisting of 25 seconds of video footage from an infrared sensor aboard a US military platform in 2023, AARO assesses with high confidence that the objects depicted in this video are almost certainly, with 95% likelihood, birds. AARO bases its assessment on the object's strong morphological consistency with other resolved imagery featuring birds and the object's behavioural characteristics strongly aligning with those of birds. Maintaining relative positioning for energy conservation during flight, pulsating infrared return a frequency consistent with wing beats. Consisting of 30 seconds of video footage from a commercially available cellular device rear-facing digital camera in 2024, the video footage associated with this report is insufficient for AARO to render a determination on its subject matter. The unresolved report contributes to AARO's historical and locational trend analysis. So video 1 is completely inconclusive, and I think that piece of footage is the best out of all of them, and is very, very strange, with some very peculiar movements to say the least, right? Video 2 has been classified as birds, but I want to hear some more from you guys and tell me what you think on this situation, because it's a little bit weird. And number 3, again, kind of just looks like a hovering light in the sky, and I don't really have much thoughts on that one other than, again, strange. Wait to hear more from Aero, I guess. I hope you guys are enjoying the new videos, man, because I'm trying to get down to the nitty gritty of things, man, and trying to deliver something more high quality for you all and accurate as well, because I want to step the game up a little bit, man. I'm kind of ready to kind of push this to the next level. So let me know if you enjoy the movies, and thank you for watching.
If you're enjoying this video, I put several videos out a week. It would be amazing if you hit the subscribe button and join me in the next video.
You have to see this video, and it's going viral for very good reason. It comes from a man named Juan. He had been claiming to family and friends that he is being visited by aliens, that he was capturing UFOs all around his property, and nobody believed him until this video. The video is security cam footage from in front of his house, and in it, by the tree, he captures what appears to be a gray alien. At first, I thought this was a still photo, but then it moved. But then watch closely. The way it moves, the jerky motions, and even how the camera slightly glitches when it focuses in on the creature. This leads me to believe this is a legit video. And if it is, it's one of the first videos of an actual gray alien. Take a look at this, comment below, tell me what you think.
Let me know in the comments, did that seem real to you? Or was that just another video hoax?
So my mom recently bought this old sewing machine. She got it for 50 bucks. This guy said he was getting rid of all of his wife's old belongings because she had passed away. Well, these things typically sell for hundreds of dollars. Well, anyway, since bringing it into her house, she's been having paranormal activity, like lights turning on, things falling off the shelves. Well, my nephew recently has been pointing at it and saying, "Monster, monster." So anyway, I got some ghost hunting equipment and I'm about to do an investigation on the sewing machine. If you were the wife of the man who sold this table,
Look at there. Right away.
did you attach yourself to the table when he sold it? If so, ring the bell. Ring the bell if you attached yourself to this table because you like to sew. Do you like your sewing machine being in this house?
I meant it.
Oh,
Rose,
Rose. Rose.
Your name's Rose?
visit you.
Visit you.
Do you visit us because you're attached to this table? Yes?
I went down the lottery rabbit hole. It's literally a scam because who wins all the time? The government.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Every time somebody wins, they get their cut before you even get yours.
Oh, yeah. Taxes, yeah, for sure.
But here's the thing, it goes even deeper. So with lottery winners, a lot of them are actually, they have government ties. They're like federal workers or they have government jobs or they're part of the government somehow. Even Epstein, he allegedly won the lottery. Did you hear about that?
No.
So get this. This is a crazy story. This is crazy. So get this. He has a house out in New Mexico called Zorro Ranch. Now, not too long ago, 6-7 years ago, there was a lottery winner who won in Oklahoma. And it wasn't a person, it was a trust. Guess what name? Zorro Ranch.
No way.
Now, here's the thing. Now, people are saying, well, Oklahoma's not too far from New Mexico. Maybe it's some type of, just a coincidence. But what was weird is that this trust is the same name as the trust that he had in New York. So you don't think he has more than one trust named Zorro? And he has a place named Zorro Ranch that's close to the same place? So
Weird.
again, it just gives way. Like, is the lottery a scam? Because it looks like it. I think it's all ran by the government.
I believe the lottery's a scam. Do you?
Bro, look at y'all produce at the grocery store. Look what's under it. Boy, look at all that black mold with the fan blowing. The moldy water all on your Boy, look. Hey, rinse it down with the mold water. That's horrible.
Not gonna lie, y'all. Bad Bunny outfit is weird to me. This man really went to his abuela closet and picked out this outfit. He chose to put on a skirt, y'all. When something feels weird, it's usually a reason why. Nothing in this industry is random. Not the timing, not the styling, and not the image that they put out to the world. Bad Bunny didn't just wake up and be like, let me go to my abuela closet and just put on this skirt and jacket today and go get fleeked up on the nails. Because yes, y'all, the nails is done too. And he had to show everybody. And of course, Kylie Jenner's in the background. This man is about to perform for the NFL Super Bowl halftime, which is going to have probably upwards of 100 million people watching. And I'm telling y'all think this image right here is crazy? Watch what he do during the Super Bowl. The industry always throws something out there to shake up the room. This is their way of controlling the masses, to get people talking, to get people emotional. Maybe to some of y'all, this is just fashion, but to me, the timing is too precise, and the energy is too intentional, and the message is too calculated. Y'all stay tuned. It's about to get real crazy.
I really don't know why he dresses like that. I thought maybe he would be feminine, leaning towards the female side, but he dates women. So I don't know if he does this as a marketing scheme, but it's bizarre to me. You would think that he's about to come out the closet, right?
We watch from the folds of time. Where you are now is our distant past. We do not land in ships, not yet, for you are still learning to see yourselves as we do, a family of light, trembling.
Stump House Tunnel in Walhalla, South Carolina is one of the most haunted places in America, and I'm getting ready to show you why. The tunnel was built in the 1850s, and the plan was it was going to be part of the railroad. However, that never did happen. It was never completed. There are stories that the people working building this tunnel encountered all kinds of spooky things. Disembodied voices, shadow figures, just ghosts and creepy stuff everywhere. And even today, this place remains one of the most haunted places in all of South Carolina and arguably across the U.S. I have a picture for you today submitted by one of my followers. She, her friend, and her friend's little daughter went to the tunnel. And this picture looks pretty ordinary at first, so the lady who sent this picture to me, she's the adult lady you see here. The little girl is her friend's daughter, and her friend is taking the picture. And you can't see nothing out of the ordinary at first. But if you look up to the right in the distance, there is a spirit who she believes to be her father. You could clearly see what looks like a person standing or sitting just up outside of the tunnels. And she thinks it looks a lot like her father, who unfortunately passed away. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you've ever been to Stump House Tunnel, I want to know about it. Have a great day. God bless.
Her bed. A girl got up in the middle of the night and was playing with her toys when something disturbing happened.
Hey, do you play with me? Sure, I'll play with you. It's fun. Doo-doo-doo-doo.
As she was playing, music from one of her toys goes off from under her bed, and when she goes to grab it, something drags her under. Moments later, her mom comes rushing in confused and brings her to her room. 2 days later, after building up the courage to go back in, this happens.
I should not be this scared right now.
While searching under the bed, one of her daughter's dolls startles her for a sec, and as she stares at it, it suddenly moves, almost as if it was breathing. She later explained that the doll isn't mechanical in any way, and that she has no idea how it moved like that. But after doing some research on the house, they found out that it was built next to land that used to be a cemetery, and that people that lived there before also experienced unexplainable things. So was it a ghost that dragged her under her bed, or was it an intruder?
That was a doll? That looked to me like another child under there.
Sick, and everyone's saying they're foggy headed, but even that it's foggy outside. It's weird. I'm gonna tell you how to fix it, and it's not going where you think. And yes, this is related, and the sky is blue for a reason. Before I start, I'll say two different things. One, the sun has been missing here in South Carolina 90% of the time. And two, your intuition is a lot smarter than you give it credit for. There's a whole lot of things that you just instinctively know without having to look it up. When you do look it up, you can say, why is it like this instead of, is this this? The reason there's woods behind me is because if you go stand in the woods, you're going to get a ton of oxygen. And all that oxygen, believe it or not, will heal you much faster than anything else. So in my new house, when I go to the back porch, it's noticeably colder outside. It's all trees, so it's all oxygen. So back to the intuition I was talking about, I knew it was colder, but why? Because its boiling point of oxygen is extremely low. But what does solid oxygen look like? It turns blue. What else is blue? And where's the bluest stuff in the world? That icy place. Why? And above the firmament that was over their head was the likeness of a throne and appearance of a sapphire stone. A sapphire stone. And they come in all different colors. So is it possible that there's quite literally concentrated oxygen right above us? And quite possibly solid? That F word right there. Anyways, for all the sick people, go stand in the forest. And yes, it will help, just like hyperbaric oxygen chambers, the more you know.
So do you remember this from a few years ago?
Been seen by millions and millions of people online. On the flip side, the public has tried to debunk the challenge with other videos showing magnets not sticking to others.
Well, I have no idea what that was, but what I do know is if I was going to be an evil scientist of sorts, the first thing I would do, I would find something that everybody has, something like our magnetic fields. And the next thing I would do is find a way to control that magnetic field with things like light and outside magnetics. Especially when it came to the ones inside the brain. And then under the premise of helping people, I'm gonna create these tiny little robots that function off magnets and can be controlled by light that can swim around in your brain.
To actually attack cancer cells, and they found that they can build these little robots that can be activated by light that drill into cancer and kill them within 60 seconds. So just think of that potential of being able to be injected with this technology, activated by light, and then maybe we do find a cure for cancer.
Yep. And then once this is inside of everybody, I'm gonna use them to completely map out people's brains. That way I could do things like regulate their behaviors and control their emotions. And before too long, I'll be able to control people's emotions, their motor skills, even their appetite. Yeah. Then I could just make people do whatever I want. Yeah, I think I'd make a pretty good bad guy. What do you think? Stay safe.
They were mixing the DNA of bears, wolves, and lions with volunteers of special forces, and the program had gotten out of control. Veronica, it had gotten out of control, and I think they had gone through generations, and they needed to eliminate all the assets at this point because they were actually going in and unaliving humans all over the world, things like that.
There was a man who dressed up as a deer in the forest and got shot by 2 hunters. If you haven't seen the full video, I don't recommend you ever watch it, but essentially a dude in South Carolina dressed up as a deer, a literal deer costume, and was roaming around the forest and wanted to be a deer, I guess, and ended up getting pew-pewed by 2 hunters. Because if you're unaware, it is literally hunting season, and these people are in the forest trying to get some deer. They want to eat them, they want to sell them, whatever. When this dude goes in the forest willingly and decides to dress up as a literal deer. I mean, roleplay is just anything these days. Like, people can literally be anything they want these days, and it comes with consequences, as you can see from this incident right here. Now, no offense to the deer costume dude, but I feel like you have to have some awareness before stepping inside a forest, knowing dang well there's going to be hunters that are looking to get some deer and deciding to dress up as a deer. And let me tell you, that costume was realistic too. Next time you ever think about doing some role play with your friends or something like that, just don't dress up as a deer and don't go in a forest as a deer, because this will happen.
In all honesty, what was the point of him doing that? And what did he think was gonna happen?
You know, in the 80s, I was obsessed with tracking down weird videos. Just weird videos and weird films we had seen. And one of the films that came to me was a movie called Guinea Pig. And I promptly made a copy of it. And the FBI said, you need to hand over the original tape.
That is Chris Gore, and the tape he's talking about contained a copy of a Japanese horror film from 1985. Back then, as the founder of the infamous Film Thread magazine, he was always on the lookout for the most obscure movies he could possibly find. And the way to do that was to tap into the somewhat underground world of VHS tape trading.
We were trading tapes with so many people, and then the thing was they would send me their weird tapes. That's how we did all of this.
Those tapes would often contain unauthorized copies of movies from all around the world that were either extremely difficult to find or straight up banned in some countries. The kind of stuff you couldn't just find in your local Blockbuster. And while the majority of the movies were just strange or bizarre, there was no music, no more than a basic title graphic, and not even the standard practice of opening credits. It almost felt like someone's private home video of a man observing strangers in front of a train station in Tokyo until he eventually sees a young lady and proceeds to stalk her, slowly driving his car behind her, and as soon as they get far away from the busy streets of the city, he chases her down and abducts her. The rest of the movie takes place in some creepy makeshift slaughterhouse, and since I cannot possibly show you what happens next, instead, I'll give you some context with, let's just say, dramatic reenactment.
Oh, that's nasty.
Yeah, all of that happens, and it is shown in great detail with very intricate close-ups right in your face. The point is, it looked real, so much so that people were...
The sad part about all this is that there's people out there that will buy videos like this to watch them because they're mentally sick or unstable or future, you know what.
The universe is made of consciousness. Therefore, the true meaning of must be understood as a condition of consciousness, not a religion. The symbols of God and the devil represent different aspects of the human experience. They represent different ways of thinking, feeling, and behaving, the three expressions of consciousness. They are archetypes. God represents the unity of self in alignment with truth and natural law. Satan represents the breakdown of that unity. It is a state where thought, emotion, and behavior are out of harmony. It is the disconnection from love, empathy, and truth. This is not just a metaphor, it is an actual condition of mind and soul. Not a religion, it is a condition of consciousness, a way of thinking, feeling, and acting, and expressing consciousness.
Was Jesus real? Is Christianity built on a lie? Well, J.D. Buck actually answers that himself. Buck was a 33rd degree Mason. That's the top of the pyramid, literally. And here's what he had to say. Tear every shred of history from the life of the Christ today and prove beyond all controversy that he never existed, and humanity, from its heart of hearts, would create him again tomorrow and justify the creation by every intuition of the human soul. In other words, the Christ archetype, the idea of love, transcendence, and enlightenment, is something we all have within. Buck's answer is, it doesn't matter. You're missing the point. The Christ idea is what matters, because that idea is eternal and not bound to one time, place, or person. Because the real truth is that Christ was trying to tell us that God and man aren't separate, that the divine lives in us, and that by awakening to that, we achieve real salvation, aka enlightenment.
This is the greatest secret ever kept. This reality we live in is not what you think it is. A quick disclaimer, this video will be hard for a lot of people to stomach, but that's part of the process. By all means, if it gets too hard, then scroll, you can always come back to it. First, we'll ask, why are all these buildings around us covered by stories of dirt? All over the world, we see these buildings that are covered by layers of dirt. And at about the same time as these buried structures, we have these massive structures that are built all over the earth, and they have no bathrooms and no kitchens. A lot of times built out of one solid material like marble, something it'd be hard to even pull off today, and I know you're asking yourself, how did they do this? Well, the ancient Ethiopian Orthodox Church has the secret, and for some reason it's not mainstream. Buildings like I just showed you built into solid rock in the ground, they said were helped build by angels themselves. Angels are believed to help assist in the construction of the rock-out churches in Libya. I know I pronounced that wrong, it's okay. So maybe these buildings are starting to make sense if literal angels help them do this. So on the same timeline with actual physical evidence, how did that same period of that amazing architecture end? Not too long after, it ended with huge insane asylums everywhere. Some people say the ones who went there because they remembered something amazing. A period in time that nobody seems to remember. And also around that same time period, we had the infant incubators pop up. And at the same exact time of the Cabbage Patch Kids. So where did all these kids come from? With all of these insane postcards? It really makes one wonder, huh? And buildings aren't the only thing. These railroad tracks were here before we got here. Seems like people were traveling at this point in time all the way from Argentina to the North Pole. I wonder what could be up there. Come back to this. So what happened before this whole period of these grand structures? Well, the sun went dark for 18 months. They said much, but in the book History of Wars by Procopius, if I pronounce his name right, a Greek scholar, and he wrote, and it came about during this year, a most dread portent took place, for the sun gave forth its light without brightness, like the moon during this whole year, and it seemed exceedingly like the sun was in an eclipse. Watch this. And from the time when this thing happened, men were free neither from war, nor pestilence, nor any other thing that leadeth to the whole world was in darkness by the sun, and while that was happening, there is pestilence all over the world. I wonder what that could mean. I know it's very hard to digest all this, but keep going. So in 536 AD that happened? We're gonna pop into Geneva 1570 for hints, but first let's go over here. 536, what's this? Why is this building and this building the same exact building, a picture of the same exact thing, and the dates are up by 1,000 years? Maybe the dating system is wrong. 1732 or J732? 1672 or J672? 1783 or I783? What's an I or a J4? Here's a coin. Yehovah? With the I? The tetragrammaton right here. 1568 or I568? Yehovah again, just like Yehovah, like YHVH? And again. What is this right here? The official royal model of King Charles IX of Sweden? And on the statue in Latin it reads, Iehovah Celestium Meum. He was a ruler who highlighted God's name in Hebrew or Latin characters on coins and medals. So just like the coins I was showing you, the Iehovah or Iehovah is synonymous with the J. So let's dig a little bit deeper, because the Byzantine Empire, that empire that lasted 1,000 years, had pictures of Jesus on coins. These coins are referred to as anonymous follies because they do not display the name of the portrait of any reigning emperor, emphasizing instead the religious authority of Christ over the empire. These coins were minted in the millions? Is it just me, or is someone not telling us the truth about history? So an I and a J are synonymous with each other in dates? And also, like the coins I showed you, synonymous with the name of God. Don't forget, Jesus' name on the cross was in Greek, Latin, and Hebrew, being Yehoshua, Jesus, and Jesus. So back to the dating system being weird, the night the stars fell. Was that really in the 1800s, or was that kind of way back there? Alright, now we're back to the Geneva Bible 1570 for hints. Revelations chapter 13, what do the footnotes say? Why is it talking about Emperor Nero? And literally written right in the footnotes, here's a depiction of the Roman Empire when the beast is coming out the ocean? Meaning Rome because it was the fifth government? And with Rome being like a beast, and in the first century we had Nero Caesar, and the money shows him turn from man to God? But more than just a god, Apollo! Apollyon the Lightbringer. Look at the spines on his head. That grew over time. Did you also know that Nero Caesar literally had a statue made of him? Look at the spines on the head. Okay, why is my man depicted as Lucifer right here? And what's it really mean that the shackles are broken off the feet of Lucifer or Apollo? Fun fact, you know Nero is the one name that equaled both 666 and 616 depending on the language? Both of them. Y'all still with me? We're about to get into the future of where we are now. By the way, this is the UN's decision-making room. Showing right here a beast with a mortal wound by a sword, and also some kind of stork that shedded its skin like a snake. And we also have some kind of marriage going on with this dude right here giving a fruit to this girl. Who is the god of this world? Who's controlling this world? I told you guys from the beginning of this video, it's going to be a hard one, but if you are open to all information that leads to be true, then maybe you will be able to find out what's going on right now. It's the only way, is to understand what was so you can understand what is now. Back to Revelations 13 in the Geneva Bible. Now, the footnotes were written by John Calvin. Remember though, footnotes are not scripture. They're just people from that era, from that time running what they think. But still, it talks about Satan being loosed in the hole, and it says that Satan will be loosed from his 1,000-year prison when Sylvester, the second pope, is on the scene. The reign of Christ is until Pope Sylvester, the second pope. Now it gets pretty weird right here. You ask Google, who's the second pope? Pope Linus? You gotta dig. When I mean dig, I mean Google straight up took his name out, basically. But I did find him from a book that was in the 1500s, or is it I-500? J500. Sylvester Perios and his golden roll. Golden roll, huh? Born in 1456. This is Pope II. Google calls him an Italian theologian. But this ancient book that's in the Vatican's library called the Beehive of Roman Catholicism from the 1500s calls him the Pope. Here's the problem though. All dates, all facts, everything is moved around. We know nothing. All I hope for this video is that we can acknowledge that we really know nothing in the grand scheme, and there's so many hidden things in our past that seem to be very significant. So we have this doomsday map that was brought forth by a necromancy, a diviner, a witch who talked to. I wonder if there's any merit here. Do you remember when Arby's just made this commercial, The Return is Here? Talking about like aliens and stuff. Their dumb potato cakes. Do you remember a few years ago when the Shaw did this randomly? Look where we are right now. Do you remember when the Pentagon came out and said this about 1 year ago? I hope you've read it by now. And then back to the UN's decision-making room mural. With the beast with a mortal wound by sword. And the shedding of the skin. You get what I'm saying? And then we have the Pope, which that same Geneva Bible talks about the Pope also playing a role in Revelations 13. We have him opening all those portals for Christmas in the Jubilee year. The final hour or the final hour. All I've done in this video is give you information. Let me know what you think and how you're feeling below.
These videos are for entertainment and education. Real or fake, fact or fiction. Let me know what you think about these videos down in the comments section. I'd like to thank you for watching. Until next time, this is CYPTV and I'm out.